July 7th, 2015. Welcome back to another edition of Making a Difference. Our guest tonight, Heather Stewart. Heather, thank you so much for taking the time from your busy schedule. From looking at everything you do, you've got to be extremely busy.
We are, but thank you, and happy birthday to you today.
Shh, shh. Today's my birthday. Isn't that crazy?
It's wonderful. Thank you for being here on your birthday.
Oh, hey, thank you. 39 years of age, and it's all been good.
Good.
It's been good. Hey, listen. Services for Independent Living. That's who you're with.
Yes.
You know, what's your role there?
I'm the Director of Marketing and Strategic Initiatives, and so I help get the word out about what we do and look for new partnerships or new opportunities for us to be engaged in the communities that we serve.
Strategic partnerships.
Yep.
That's kind of key, isn't it?
It is. We rely on volunteers in different agencies and different places to help us continue to fulfill our mission and use volunteers to do programs. And so making those connections is very vital for us.
Couldn't do it without them, could you?
We could not.
Now, just give us an idea of everything, all the programs that you offer.
Well, that would probably take a couple hours. So the best way for me to do it is we have 5 core services that we are mandated to operate under, which are advocacy, independent living skills, information referral, peer support, and transition. So everything we do operates under those 5 core services. But we have 4 signature services that we are most known for. And we want to be known more than buses and chairs, which is what a lot of people know SIL for, Services for Independent Living.
Sure.
Because you see our buses around town taking people where they need to go. And a lot of them equate it with individuals with visible disabilities who have to use a wheelchair or other mobility devices. Those signature services are Aging in Place, and that came about from our merger with Boone County Council on Aging.
Now, when did that happen?
That happened in January, so they merged with us.
Okay.
We had a lot of overlapping things, and we knew that we could be better together and use all of our resources more efficiently if we joined forces, and so we did that. And so we're able to offer Aging in Place, which is carrier alert, friendly visits, snow shovel removal, which is important for those individuals in the winter, lawn mowing, and just cleaning up of yards, to name a few of the things that we do for the Aging in Place. And most of those services are done through volunteers, and so we have volunteers that come and dedicate their time to ensure that those individuals, whether they have a disability, whether they're aging in place, or whatever their need is, can be independent and do things that they need to do and decrease isolation and depression. And then we also have durable medical equipment, which is people can donate durable medical equipment to us. We recycle it, we clean it up, recycle it back out to those in need. Last year we did about $260,000 worth of equipment returned to the community that didn't hit insurance, people's pocketbooks, anything like that.
Now, this is equipment that's donated to your organization that you revamp.
We just clean up. We don't necessarily revamp, but we check to make sure it's in good use.
And if it's operational, you give it back out to someone else that needs it.
We clean it up and give it out. We do a lot of short-term loans, so individuals that may have just had knee surgery or hip surgery or something that just need maybe a commode or a shower chair or a wheelchair. A lot of those just in and out. They might need them for a couple days, a couple weeks.
Right.
But then we also have those long-term uses for individuals that might need a hospital bed or Hoyer list for getting them in and out of places, scooters and things. So we do that.
At no charge.
At no charge.
That's huge.
It is.
Give me some dollar figures. How much have you saved? How much have you saved us?
In Boone County alone, it was over $260,000 worth of durable medical equipment that recycled in the last calendar year.
That's huge, especially now. You said something that always rings a bell with me. I mean, when anybody mentions advocacy, tell us how you advocate for the people of Boone County.
Well, it depends on what the individual's needs are. For the individuals who are youth, we help with their IEPs. If they are on the spectrum and they need some assistance or whatever their disability is, we help them not only advocate for themselves, but we help parents advocate for what their children need, and then also help them advocate when they're transitioning either to high school or for jobs. We also work at the state level with the legislators. We have a director of public policy and advocacy that meets with them and hits the needs of what's happening in the independent living community and the aging community. And then we also have, which is also advocacy, but also transition money follows the person. So helping an individual who wants to get out of the nursing home get back into their home or another home.
Sure.
We help with that.
Well, that's kind of the mission of independent living, though,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes. We want to maintain and maximize individuals' independence.
Okay.
And then with that also comes decreased isolation and depression.
That's huge.
Yes.
What are some major issues facing aging at this time?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question. Thank you.
Well, what we're seeing a lot is the just people are aging into homes that aren't meant for them to age into, or they bought their dream home and now they're not able to utilize the stairs, or just because of aging, there's just things that they need to have adaptions or modifications made to their homes. But through us partnering with the city, or getting a grant through the City of Columbia,
Sure.
we can do some home modifications and some repairs for them to help them be independent and help them be safe in their home, because that's the most important. We want them to be safe.
That's great. What other neat stuff is going on?
We just hired a brand new transportation manager to organize our fleet of buses, and so we'll
Good.
be adding some new drivers to meet the demand of the riders that we
Okay.
have, which is pretty exciting for us to have more people out there and meeting their needs to get to the places that they want to go.
Now, partnerships. You're big into partnerships. What are some really neat partnerships you've got going on around Columbia or the region?
Well, the biggest partnership we have right now is the Americans with Disability Act.
Okay.
It celebrates 25 years this year. And on July 26th, we've partnered with 17 other organizations here in Columbia. A lot of them serve individuals with disabilities. Also the city, Columbia Public Schools, United Access, and different places, to bring a celebration to downtown Columbia to celebrate the
Interesting.
25 years of the Americans with Disability Act.
How awesome that is so cool, because I've done a little bit of research and writing in the area of reasonable accommodation.
Yes.
It's huge, and I think that there are times that we lack in that area.
And I don't think people understand what reasonable accommodations mean, and a lot of people just don't know about the ADA because they just don't know. They know it's something that they have to do, so they meet the bare minimum of what the requirements are, and not take into account that maybe having one or two more accessible entrances, or making your space wider, then just increases the more people that can come to your business
right.
and increases your bottom line.
It's amazing. Anything else going on that you want to mention?
We are celebrating 35 years.
35? Get out of
years.
here.
Yes, 35 years.
Really?
We are having an open house
Okay.
on Friday, July 24th from 11:30 to 4:30
Where?
at Services for Independent Living at 1401 Haithman Place, across from the Shepherd's Distributor.
Okay.
And from 1 to 4, we'll be doing a wheelchair wash, because oftentimes people don't think that they need, just like we clean our cars, sometimes they
Really?
can't take care of their wheelchairs and clean it up, and they just need a clean and a wash, and they're good to go. So
Wow. How interesting
It's
is
kind of
that?
exciting, yeah.
That is good. Now, you talk a lot about consumer-directed services. Give us a nutshell of what consumer-directed services you guys
that is
provide.
an individual who may need some assisted care, but
Okay.
and they can make their own choice. Like, you can make conscious choices. You know what you want to do. You know who you get to decide who you want to
Sure.
hire. When you want them to come to your home, you get to decide what their rate of pay within the scale that we have, and then you direct your care.
Okay.
And you get to make the choices, which is ultimately what we want you to do, is to make the choices.
So now, if somebody wants to help your organization out, are you a 501c3?
We are, yes.
So my donation would be a tax deduction for me.
Yes, it would be.
Very important. If I want to volunteer my time, are you
We're
open to
always
that?
looking to volunteers. We have a place on our website, which is www.silcolumbia.org. We have volunteer opportunities that span the gamut of different things based on what your interest is. And we really, there are a few programs that we operate, and volunteers pretty much help us run it. And without volunteers, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Where else have you saved taxpayer dollars?
By keeping people on the consumer-directed services. I'm going to pull my notes out here
Pull
so I
those
can
notes.
give you.
I was trying to figure out how we were going to get to
I'm going to pull my
them.
notes out here. If a person had to be institutionalized during congregate living, the state average per day is $119 per
Okay.
day. In Columbia, the estimate is about $268 per day
Double of
for somebody
the
living
state average.
in a assisted living or something. On consumer-directed services on independent living, it's $27 a day.
So are you saying that you can be more efficient than
can be
state
more-
government?
If they're not in an institution, if they are
Okay.
able to make their own choices and their own decisions through consumer-directed services.
Come on, give us some more numbers.
Give you some more numbers?
This is good stuff.
So for a person living in institutional congregate living in Columbia,
Right.
it's an estimated about $97,000
Okay.
a year for them to live in, like if they were living in the Bluffs or Tiger Place
Mm-hmm.
or Boone's Landing, just, I don't know what their, but an average would be about $97,000 a year just to live there.
Okay, it seems like a lot of money, but it takes a lot to take
does.
care of our aging population.
And it's not
does.
just necessarily aging, it's individuals with disabilities. Anybody
Exactly.
could have a disability at any given time. You could walk out of here, be hit by a bus, be into a car accident, and have any type of injury, and
And you'll be there.
we can help you. We can help
That's
you.
great, great. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking the time.
I appreciate you inviting us.
And coming in. Will you come back
We'll be back
tomorrow?
whenever you need me.
Heather, thank you so much,
Appreciate it.
and thank you for what you do for our community.
Thank you.
you. Welcome back to the second side of Making a Difference. My guest is Jack Jensen.
Correct.
Jack is the executive director of First Chance for Children.
Correct.
Man, how'd you fall into this gig? This is awesome.
It is. I actually spent 31 years with Columbia Public Schools.
Wow.
You know, we're always looking for that magic program to make sure those kids are ready for school and successful.
Well, I thought that's what the Columbia Public Schools system was, a
You know,
magic program.
They are pretty good.
They are
They're
good.
very good. But what I discovered in that period of time is, really, if you get them ready for kindergarten, they're ready for life. They're ready for success.
So it's true.
It is. And-
Everything you need to know, you learn in kindergarten.
Well, you learn it before kindergarten, and then you put the finishing touches
you
on
go.
in kindergarten.
Well, tell us about everything you do.
Well, First Chance for Children is all early childhood programming. We do advocate for early childhood programming also, but we really feel if we take care of those kids early through our programming, that we just solve so many issues later on
Sets
in
them up for
life.
success.
It does.
In what way, Jack? How? Just in a nutshell.
What do we do?
What can you do at that age level that really prepares a child to become a more productive or participating
Right.
adult?
Right. Well, and it really starts there, that early success. We know, brain development wise, that what happens, before the baby's even born, through 3 years, that's when the brain grows the most, makes those connections, kind of gets wired through the interaction between the baby, parents, their environment.
Wow.
A positive environment, an environment with a lot of good talk to that child, a lot of reading, etc. That's what really wires the brain for success later on. It's the real simple things, but if they're not there, it makes it so much more difficult later on. Probably the most important thing is that conversation and reading to the baby. The other thing is stress. We know that if a child is in a stressful environment at that time, they actually call it toxic stress on that child's development.
That can be measured.
Can be measured.
At that young age.
At that very young age. It's
Wow.
just critical. So First Chance for Children is all about programs that help that family be successful in working with their child. We do a lot on child abuse and neglect prevention. If we prevent it, then we
Interesting.
don't have the issues later on. We've got a baby bag
agree.
program that supplies those families that maybe don't have everything they need when they step out of that hospital and take that child home, which of course relieves stress. We've got a Safe
point.
Cribs program. The baby is in the greatest danger in a sleep-related issue that very first year. It's sad to say, but most children are either injured or actually die in a sleep-related issue. And so if we help that family know how to put that baby down safely, how, you know, if the baby's dry and the baby's fed and the baby's crying and, you know, doesn't have a temperature, it's fine to let that baby in that bed, you know, cry a little while. You never pick that child up and shake it, shaken baby syndrome. And so we do a lot of prevention at that early age. And then we've got a couple programs that work directly with the parents. One is called Parents as Teachers Plus. Parents as Teachers is a great program. What we're able to do through our funding is work with that family that maybe has some really crisis type issues. Maybe they're homeless, teen mom, that kind of thing. Maybe there's been drug and alcohol abuse in the past or something that they're struggling with. There's about 17 at-risk factors. And so we support that family so they can support their child. And then the last big program I'll get in here real quick is we have something called Lend and Learn toy libraries. And they're safe places for any family to come, interact with their child with all kinds of age-appropriate toys. There's other parents there. Having a child can be a very isolating situation, which is stressful. So here's an environment where they can come, talk to other parents, and also there's an early childhood specialist. They can ask those questions. Why is my kid doing this right now? Should I be worried, or is this normal? Those kind of things.
So you retired from Columbia Public School Systems
I did.
as an educator
Yes, that's
to
correct.
become the executive director of First Chance for Children and be an educator.
Yes. And really,
It's awesome, though. I mean, what you do
yeah.
is phenomenal.
Yeah, so many times I saw sharp kids that were struggling in school, and you look for that magic program to fix them, like we were talking at the very beginning.
Sure.
And again, through research, study, working with other early childhood specialists, I really came to understand this is critical. Take care of this now, and those other issues will be taken care of. Less special ed services for kids that get to school ready to learn. More likely to be reading on grade level. If they're not reading on grade level by third grade, the chances of them dropping out of high school increase. I can't remember the exact percent, but you know, it's just something incredible.
You know, a lot of things that many parents and kids, young people, take for granted is something as simple as reading a paragraph or constructing, having the ability to construct a simple sentence. Things that just taken for granted. But the reality is there are a lot of children that are missing these skills. But it sounds to me like First Chance really develops that foundation that you need later on.
It does. And First Chance is a very small organization. What we really need is for the community, the county, the state of Missouri to get behind early childhood education. We're always concerned about government spending, big government. But when it's spent right, when it really levels the playing field for those kids that maybe weren't born in, you know, the perfect situation, that's when it's doing the right job.
You know, I think you hit on it. It's when it's spent right. But I think one of the problems is we have a hard time of evaluating what is a good program and what is a bad program. So tell me, how do you measure success with First Chance?
Well, the research, there's a huge body of research about the positive impact of early childhood programming, if it's quality programming. There are studies that have followed kids for 30, almost 40 years, where one group had a very good, rich environment. children that were living in poverty, and the other group did not. It's incredible the difference 30 years later. Less incarceration, some of the things we already talked about, much higher graduation level, much more likely to have gone on to college or some other type education to prepare them for life, more likely to own a home, more likely to, more likely to give their children the opportunities that lead to success.
I think you and I both agree that the value of education. I mean, it's very, it's something we cherish in our household. But yet, parents to teachers, that program, you were saying that the budget had been cut to support that program.
Yeah, you know, it's been a very tight budget for a number of years. This economy has put families that would not have
Stress
struggled
in a lot of areas.
very much so.
A lot of stress.
In 2010, the Parents as Teachers budget, which is not directly related to us, but
Has an impact though,
I'm,
doesn't it?
You know, very interested in all those things. It was cut by 60%. It basically went from 34 million statewide down to a little over 14 million. And that really has had an impact. Our Parents as Teachers Plus program is giving support to local school districts, especially the smaller school districts, to bring their programs back up.
Okay.
When they had those kind of cuts, so many districts really had to cut down to just the very bare minimum of services. So we're trying to bring those back.
So First Chance for Children is filling a void then.
It is.
Okay, now do you have a set curriculum that you utilize, and who developed that?
Well, actually, we use, because we like to work in partnerships, we use what is called the Parents as Teachers Foundational Curriculum.
Okay.
It's an evidence-based approach. In other words, if you implement it with fidelity, it's shown to have those positive impacts
An
that
outcome,
you want it to.
a measurable outcome.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. What other kind of neat stuff? I mean, this is great stuff.
Well, it truly is.
What else are you involved with?
Talking a little, well, we partner with over 12 other agencies in the community and about 13 school districts. We're actually putting that program together for the start of this fiscal year, and we're hoping to expand a little bit in that way. By having those partnerships, we can just do it so much more effectively and so much more efficiently. The baby bags and the Safe Cribs program, we partner with
huge.
health authorities or health departments in counties. So rather than run a person from Columbia, Missouri down into Cole County, we partner with them, or Callaway, or Howard.
Now you're a 501c3.
We are.
Do you operate on grant dollars, donations, all of the above?
We depend a lot on state grants through the Department of Social Service.
Sure.
They were created, oh my gosh, almost 30 years ago. We live by a good state budget, or we also have to prune programs.
The world of the not-for-profit's a tough one.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But you're providing a service that is such a benefit for our youth.
Yeah.
And that's great. You're also a not-for-profit, so you can accept donations.
Yes, we can. I
Good.
think there's one of the slides that's maybe showing.
It's probably
this
showing
that-
right now as we're talking, having a great conversation,
Yeah.
looking handsome.
Yes. Yes.
Your slides covered our face.
Yes.
And
Oh,
it's saying, please, we need your help.
you betcha.
You always need our help. But
Well,
that's okay.
You know, we can take $70 and put a safe crib in a home. And imagine what that does to a family when all of a sudden that one thing is taken care of. Now, to you and I, $70 doesn't seem like a whole lot. But if you're working several jobs, minimum wage, trying to improve yourself, you just don't
$70 is huge.
Yeah.
It really is. Man, I'll tell you, donate. That's all I can say is if you can, make a donation.
It would be appreciated.
We're
We
investing
would
in our
make sure
future.
it was used well.
Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah.
Anything else that's going on that you'd like to add?
Well, in the summer, again, because of budgets that we've got to watch, how we spend our money, our programming in Lend and Learns go down. But we also have programs out in the community that anybody can be involved on. If anybody wants to Google First Chance for Children and find our web page, they'll see the events that we do. Well, like for instance, we do a safe water sports type thing where we work with families.
Is there an age limit? I mean,
Come on out.
Okay.
Splash parks are great fun, no matter what age you are. We've been having trouble getting in the splash parks because of the water that's been coming from above. But I believe we're trying to reschedule one of those for over at Stevens Park on Friday, 10 to noon.
volunteers. Do you use volunteers?
We have some groups. We've got Kiwanis groups that are wonderful to us. Really appreciate their support. They do some things around our facility to help us out. Because of confidentiality with some of our families, we don't have a lot of volunteer opportunities that way.
So how can we as a community best serve you, help you?
I would say as you hear about early childhood programming, especially when it comes to state programming, local programming, support it. It is the best way you can make sure that child's going to be successful.
We can always reach out to our legislators and say, hey, guys, gals, this is our recommendation.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't hurt, does it?
No, it does not. And I have to say that the local group of legislators here in mid-Missouri have been very supportive. When I've stepped into their office to talk about our programming, it's always with a smile. They, I think, always try to support us. Again, tight budgets make for some tough decisions.
Jack, it does. But the reality is we're establishing a foundation for our youth that's going to pay off in the future.
That is correct.
It's not a hard sell.
That is
I don't
correct.
think it's a hard sell.
I would agree.
When you going to come back and talk to us?
Whenever invited.
Hey, numbers. Bring data.
Oh, well, I know there's one other slide that's probably
on right now, like I said.
Yeah, and it's talking about the return on investment.
What is it?
Oh, gosh, it depends on the programming, but in general, the best place you can put money is in early childhood. It gives you the greatest return on investment. Normal is somewhere between $7 to $10 for every dollar that is spent.
Bring those numbers back with you next time.
Be happy
will
to.
you? Thank you
Yes.
so much, and keep up the outstanding work.
Well,
We
thank you so
appreciate it.
much.